Menu today, but it will be in the coming weeks. Okay, maybe next week or the week after. I'm not too sure because today is only rolling. I thought I'll get something for you to snack out. Okay, so scones is one of the maybe
Scone chef?
yeah the oldest, maybe the very oldest recipes in the world. Maybe,
So dry.
right? Because it's one of the simplest. And maybe one of the best tasting. Maybe scones is one of my favorites to go with tea, coffee, or just by itself. With some jam and a little bit of jam and cream. It is something out of the world. Okay, making scones is quite simple. Okay, to be honest, I don't even have to measure out all this. Okay, so flour. Take self-raising flour. Okay, come over here. And then milk. What I use is, so there's a baking powder, right? Baking powder, no baking powder shouldn't, because it's already a self-raising flour. Okay, to get that extra rising, so there's more baking powder to it. And then, Rita, there is butter. So my recipe, the scones I do does not have butter, but I use half cream and half milk, or just cream in it. Okay, creams, no, there's already portioned one. Right hand side in a bowl. So I instead of milk, I use cream, which is nothing but butter and milk. You know what I mean? So is that simple, but in this recipe we're following, it has cream in it, butter in it. So you just have to rub this butter like we do the short or sweet pastry, right? So rub this butter into the flour. Yes, with your hands. Yeah, until like we did the short pastry. So what you need to do is, you got to do this quick, and then break the butter into. This process is called rubbing the butter into the flour. Okay. So if I'm making it home, if I'm making it at work, just use cream. Right? It's quicker, right? And cream has enough fat as well to come out nice and fluffy. Okay, so, and I got some salt. So scones are not too sweet. Okay, my scones have no sugar. I don't put sugar at all. Okay, now I'm gonna add this now, but I'm just telling you where it's okay, because I'm gonna add enough jam and cream. Okay, or a little bit of sugar. All right, will help. Gonna add the liquids together, vanilla essence and milk together. So, and also I want to get me the vanilla bean paste in here. So this is vanilla essence and vanilla bean. Okay, so right hand side, first thing you'll see is okay. So this is vanilla bean paste, and that's the vanilla pod. Okay. So if I'm adding something to milk and I'm not cooking it at the moment, I will just use vanilla essence of the imitation. Okay. If I'm using beans, I make sure you simmer the milk so that the flavor from the beans come out. That's when the flavor from the beans come out. If I just add vanilla bean in here, the flavor won't mix through that well, and also the flavor would not be that strong as well. So always use like imitation essence to add it to the, or even no vanilla should not be a big deal in scone. You can also make savory scones as well.
Egg and bacon scones?
Egg and bacon scones, or you guys spinach, kale scones, right? Cheese and kale, cheese and spinach is also great. Okay?
I've also seen some people use them as a sort of holding for.
Yes, yes. So now it's like it's close to the breadcrumb consistency, there's also an easier way to do this, is putting it in a food processor. But this is quite a big of a batch for the food processor. This final, just mix all together, like. And also this process should not take too long as well. If it is too long, the butter starts to melt. It will not be like this. It will start becoming like a dough. Okay, this stage, I'm gonna add the lemon juice. And as I said before, I'm just gonna hold some milk back. Can I have some excess flour? Extra flour. A bit more flour. See, there's more water, milk here. Okay, if I had added it, it would be very wet. So I don't trust the recipes. It's just you need to learn to judge how the dough is coming together. Okay. Let's go on. Okay. There's two things. This is not a dough, right? Because we've added butter to it, right? A good amount of butter. So this does not have to be kneaded, right? Huh? So this just needs to be brought together. If you start kneading it, the butter will start melting and your dough will be very, very soft. I don't want to knead this, so just clean your hand just with the excess flour.
Rub it together.
Rub it together. Just everything. These are currants or sultanas. Alright, some sultanas to make it fruit. You can add other fruits as well. See this, all I'm trying to do here is bringing them together. Again, I don't have to follow the exact amount as well because it's traditional, it's organic. Okay, there weren't much weighing scale when this. Okay. To get it nice and flat and even, you can even roll this. Alright? But I don't want to roll it. I like it a bit of rough, rustic, organic, texture or finish on top of the scones. So I wouldn't roll. But if you want a nice, present it like even, you can use a rolling pin and roll it nice and flat as well. That. And using a cutter and some flour, you start doing that, okay? And then you want to place your scones so that they can touch each other. Okay, it's not baked individually like other breads and pastries. So I want to place it because this is going to rise, because this has self-raising flour and also the baking powder. Okay, so I want to keep it close to each other so that it touches and it doesn't get dry. If I just bake it by itself, the outside part would be dry. Okay. More milk and taste your preference. So what you do is you go as close, and then you can even shape it. See this? Yeah, it doesn't have to be perfect. So go as close as you can and get more scones out of it. Because once it rises, it touches everything, it doesn't stay around as well. Okay? This would be the simplest, and also it will be the most common dish or a sweet item, sweet savory item done in most of the restaurants, cafes, aged cares, hospitals.
Something like
Yes, sorry?
something like no one in the age is wrong.
Yes. So once for my wife's birthday, she didn't want any cake, she wanted scones. Alright, so it's quite simple. It's quite quick as well. It doesn't take too long to make. So that's okay. Leave it. Just go ahead.
It's a flour.
Yes. So what you do is once it starts to stick, you add some flour here, and then easy.
Easy.
And then you don't wait for too long. You just cut it quickly. All right. And then bring it together.
Continue on.
And then quick. So it doesn't have to be perfect. Nothing. It's just now this is quite thin. Yes, bring it together. Because it has to be a little bit thicker compared to that. If not, these ones would be a bit smaller. Yeah, I think that's good. And then you could do egg wash. Okay.
That's with milk.
Best with milk. Okay, egg wash, what happens, it becomes too dry, it gets good color, but it's too crunchy, right? Milk, it makes it a bit more softer. Okay, so Corinne, milk on top so that the scones are not too dry as well. Okay.
Egg white with milk.
No, just milk. No egg white. The recipe says eggs, but milk is best. Okay. So how many we got? 4, 8, 12, 16.
Makes a wall.
Okay, I got 5 extra. 1 for each and 5 extra.
Not for you, my wife.
It's quite easy recipe. It is, but it's one of the best things you could have. You know.
Those are very
Sure.
versatile.
Huh?
Those are very
Yeah,
versatile.
very versatile.
Chef,
Yes.
if I want to make a chocolate flavor, and the powder should be with
Chocolate, you can add cocoa powder
yeah,
and
with
chocolate
flour-
chip as well.
With flour.
With flour, yes, you just add cocoa powder extra.
And dark chocolate with the dough.
Huh?
Chocolate, dark chocolate.
It's up to you. Whatever chocolate you want, you can add dark chocolate, you can add milk chocolate. It's up to you. All right, just cocoa powder would be the best thing to add with the flour. All right, and instead of sultanas, you could add chocolate chip. Okay. But yeah, but you don't need. I don't like chocolate and
I like.
scones, but because scones has to be very simple,
Yeah.
not too sweet. And then when you spread the jam and cream, that's when it is like good balance. If not, it's too sweet, right? So this goes into the oven 190 degrees. I think that oven is 180 degrees. I said before, right? If you can put this put it up for 10 degrees and put this in please. So this should bake in about 20 minutes to half an hour. Okay. Next, just use that rested to stretch. If you just make some move, even when you're stretching pizzas, even when you're doing bread, okay, any dough, right? If it's rested, use that resting to stretch it. If you do any kneading or mixing again, it's not going to stretch. You just have to leave it back, rest again, and then come back and do it all again. Okay? So with this scones, done. And where's the icing sugar?
With a shaker like somewhere. Right behind you.
Some icing sugar, and that should be the scones. Maybe that recipe comes few thousand years. I think it's come past 2,000 years. Let me knead it a bit. You knead it, and then try to roll it. It will shrink because the dough is stiff, right?